Hello, I'm Inky, back with the same thing that I do every week. I'm drawing one turnaround per character every week in hopes of getting all of my characters to have turnaround references for 2025. This week's character is Red. Bastard woman. I mentioned in my do Red, I might do Liz. Red and Liz. Oh boy, Red and Liz. I did Red first. You will understand why shortly. She's a D&D character, like literally all of my characters are. And I played her in 2 one-shots. My friend played the same character for those one-shots as well. His name is Twig. He is a bastard man, very smug. Here's some old art of Red and Twig. We had agreed to do an evil one-shot, so we both made, asshole characters who are evil. Red's whole thing is that she's after, 1 or 2 things. She wants money, so she will do whatever you pay her to do if you pay her well. And she likes to kind of sow chaos, leave a trace of herself behind in, folk history. So she will often do, big flashy displays of creating chaos or disturbing the order or, disrupting systems, and then she'll fuck off. Twig is a Feywild con man who does wild magic stuff. Twig is like a rogue with a single level in sorcerer. It's really fun. Red is a bard. Red is a bard with a side of monk, because the story goes that she was a rowdy teenager who was already highly problematic for her age, and her parents were like, ooh, okay, we gotta do something about it. So we're gonna send her to a monastery so they can teach her some, order, some behavior, some discipline. So they take their daughter, right, who is, sneaking out of the house and going off to the shady part of town to observe the scene, soak the scenery, enjoy the rough and tumble, and go gamble. She really, really likes to go gamble, and she's, unironically good at it, partially because she's good at the poker face thing, partially because she is actually just insanely lucky. She's also kind of stupid. She worships, you know how gamblers will often ask for Lady Luck's favor, but that's, metaphorical. They're asking to be lucky so that they get the good cards and win. Yeah, no, Red heard that a bunch of times and was like, oh, that must be a deity. Yeah, that must be a deity. So she unironically thinks that there's a cool lady up there, somewhere in the heavens maybe, who's just looking out for her. And she thinks that's sick. So they send her off to the monastery. It doesn't work out that well, because honestly, she's kind of, ungovernable. And eventually, she just kind of escapes the monastery and just fucks off to do crime and chaos. And that's kind of where she's at. She's been doing this for a while. She's pretty good at it. And in the one-shot, the cult I keep mentioning, they have a name. It's the Sun Eidolon. The Sun Eidolon cult. The cult that I've been mentioning in the Norn video. And I think the Alice video. Yeah, those guys, they're like, we need you to steal something. We need you to steal a chalice from this one fortress. And Red's like, yeah, sure. And the chalice they want is the chalice that they used to drink the blood of the dead goddess. You guys know about the dead goddess? If you don't know about the dead goddess, Norn video also. Dead goddess. They drank the blood of her, by the way. That's a whole piece of lore that they do, is that they take the dead goddess that they killed, and they drink her blood, and it makes, the noble houses that drink it super powerful, but it also gives them curses. And that's because the dead goddess's brother is out here avenging her by poisoning her blood to curse everyone that drank it. And so every major noble house has a big curse, and then lots of people have, tinier curses. That's why Sorrel has so many curses. There's a lot of curses in this kingdom. And that's why they did sippy cup. They did heresy with a sippy cup. We spent the entire one-shot calling the challenge the heresy sippy cup, by the way. And that's our mission. Our mission is to break into this fortress, and we have to steal the heresy sippy cup, also known as the Bloodstone Chalice. That's its actual real name. So we break in, except Twig is also being headhunted by some assassins from a thieves guild, because of course Twig is. He, defrauded them or something or other, and they're pissed. We get caught up in that. We kill the assassin. It's fine. No big deal. We kill some other people that almost spotted us. and then we break into the basement, I think, or the deeper levels of the fortress. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years. We find out a lore drop that won't make sense until 3 years after the fact. That was cool. Thank you, DM, for shadowing his narrative device. But in the bowels of the fortress, there are 2 people of note. A Wyvern Knight info here, and a Bard, I think they were. Their names are Lazarus and Surstin, and they are dating. And they are our last hurdle to getting the Bloodstone Chalice. So obviously, Red lures them apart and kills Surstin. Because of course, what else is Red gonna do? She then proceeds to make herself look like Surstin with a spell, manipulate the crap out of Lazarus, who realizes, gets really mad, but we get the chalice. Except now a Wyvern Knight and every single military staff in the fortress is after us. Oh no. Except I still have a bunch of my spell slots. So Red grabs Twig and casts Dimension Door 500 feet away, or something like that. Then Red proceeds to do that again and again, and she casts Dimension Door 3 times to move the party a total of 1,500 feet away from the mess, which is practically outside. I don't know how my DM puts up with my shit, but I did do that. I did sidestep the entire breaking out of the fortress now section. And we're outside. Different Wyvern Knight comes out with his Wyvern and is chasing after us. So we fight, and we kill the Wyvern and the Knight, if I recall correctly, but they get Twig. They get Twig in the process. Twig is dying. Because Twig has a single level in Wild Magic Sorcerer, the DM is gracious enough to look at Twig's player and go, okay, you get to roll in the Wild Magic Search table once. So we roll in the Wild Magic Search table. Fucking reincarnation! I shitteth you not. So Twig does not die. Twig gets reincarnation cast. And then we roll to see what Twig reincarnates into. A human. Twig was an elf. Twig's lifespan has gone from 500, because we don't do 700. Our setting does elves at 500. 500 to 80. So Twig is freaking out. Red is mostly unscathed, by the way. She came out of it pretty fine. But nobody's dead. Everyone's alive. Sick. Years after the fact, the DM is like, sequel one-shot? You guys want to do a sequel one-shot? And we're like, oh my word? And he's like, yeah, you guys remember that you left some loose ends at that, didn't you? And we're like, oh, we did, didn't we? Fucking Lazarus is still alive. The thing about Lazarus is that I get a pretty unique perspective on the old coot. I love him, by the way, because my DM has no better idea that in the middle of the one-shot, he drops the bomb that Lazarus was a senior knight to Beatrice. My character Beatrice. Beatrice video here. And he mentored her. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of sweet. And he misses her because she's dead. Oh no. So I'm already feeling for this old coot, even though he's trying to kill my character that I'm currently playing. But it gets worse, because I go on to make Blair, who's Beatrice's niece, as another one of my characters for something else. Yeah, the man used to go to Beatrice's family lunches and stuff. He doesn't have much of a family of his own, so he just kind of got tagged along to the Byes' stuff. So he's kind of like a weird little uncle for Blair. But then I am informed that when Blair was I want to say 9, something like that, he just disappeared. He went MIA. He took his wyvern, left, didn't tell anyone where he was going. The military considers him completely dishonored. And then the DM's like, okay, cool. You guys, you still have loose ends? You've got an invitation from someone for a bit of a rematch of a come here and fight me type of thing. And he is asking you to go over down to the Veins. The Veins is one of the Underdarks of the setting. We don't do the Underdark. We do different cave systems depending on where in the setting you are. The Veins is one of them. It's short for the Veins to the World's Heart. And there's a bunch of drow in there. Also other stuff, mostly drow. So we make our way on down to Drowland, past one Drow settlement, into another Drow city, and we're met with a tribunal who, are trying to be really, serious about it. Red and Twig are not impressed, but they're like, alright, cool. And then we get the reveal that fucking Lazarus came all the way down here and fucking took over this city. He just fucking took over this Drow city. The way that Drow cities in the Veins work is that the Mantle, who is the city ruler, is a position that you earn by challenging the previous Mantle to a duel and killing them. So Lazarus came all the way down here, fought the previous Mantle, killed them, and took the city for himself. And he did all of this because he wanted an entire city as his military so he could use it to hunt down Red and Twig, who are now level 20 and otherwise borderline unstoppable. By the way, Twig is a lich now, and Red is out here doing dealings with the lower planes. Just dropping that bombshell on you. Yeah, Twig freaked out because of his greatly reduced lifespan and decided that the best way to solve it was by becoming a lich. That's what I was, doing when I did the death card for the tarot. Yeah, that's what that's about. And Red is out here researching the abyss because she's chaotic evil. But she's still got, a couple fingers in dealings in the hells. She's spoken to, a couple people. The main important one here being, Fiona, who's, one of the DND, normal rules, DND archdevils, the, lords of the hells. Yeah, her. I will get into that when I get to Liz, because that's more of a Liz thing. But yeah, Red makes a deal with Fiona for her soul. If I bite it in the next fight, you can have my soul. Red obviously thinks she's, borderline unkillable and has never lost a gamble, so whatever. So they go on down, they fight Lazarus. Good God, let's just say that some spells go a little wild magic awry, because Twig is now more sorcerer than rogue, because lich, and Red is now just a full bard. She's dropped the monk levels. But yeah, some spells go wild magic awry, the fight is not going so great. Lazarus kills Red, so that's Red's soul gone. And then Twig is like, okay, there's no winning this. I am going to cast Disintegrate on myself. So Twig disintegrates themselves. Well, because he's a lich, he just goes back to no, he's not dead. He will respawn. He's just a lich. He's gonna come back. That's how liches work in 5e. If you don't destroy the thing that holds their soul, they're just gonna come back. I don't know if it's that way in other editions. I'm not that big of a D&D nerd. I'm more of a my D&D nerd. Anyway, because the item that houses Twig's soul has not been destroyed, Twig can just respawn. So Twig just fucking disintegrates himself and he'll come back. And I think that's where I'm gonna leave it, actually. Here's the full reference, because there's more to this. Red's soul now is owned by a Lady of the Hells, but that is where we get to Liz. And that's gonna be for the Liz reference video. Ooh, suspense. Come back next week. Comment, subscribe, all the YouTuber things that YouTubers ask you to do. Engage. I take commissions. You can get a reference sheet done. You can get just a drawing done. You can get a painting done. That's it. Goodbye.